Water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Gray, and I'm just plain living here backstroking.
Good for you, John. Hi, I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller. It's probably better than being snowed in. Of course, we don't ever really get snowed in, do we? We're always able to get out.
You'll just get
Pretty
out.
much.
Yeah, but
This thing we had this past weekend, though, there were a lot of people that probably didn't move very much because,
I'm sure. Yeah.
you know, I was watching a board meeting last night and they were getting a report from Wayne Limbo, and he said it was different than most events because it rained all the way up until it started snowing.
It just boom, there it
And
was.
he said we couldn't put salt down ahead of the snow because the rain would have just washed it off the road.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
And
though,
so that made it a little bit more difficult to handle.
Yeah.
Oh, it was lovely. It was that big, soft.
I know, it's
when
so
it first
pretty.
started falling, it looked like
It was so
mush
clean.
balls falling down.
Everything's so clean. It's like, you know, starting
quiet.
over. Clean
And
and
quiet.
Serene.
Peggy lives in the country, so I guess you did get.
It was very quiet.
Yeah.
You know, I was just saying before the show, congratulations to our Public Utilities Department
Oh, my
because
goodness, yes.
I don't think we had a power outage, and they stayed on top of that whole deal very well. I think there were a couple of water mains frozen broke, but that I don't think that was due so much to the snow. It was just cold,
Yeah.
and that happens.
Yeah.
But you know, you drive by and you look at these guys, and it's 15 degrees, and they're standing in a ditch waist deep in ice cold water and mud. My hat's off to you guys and girls out there that work for the power company. Thank you for what you do. In a way, that's a first responder as well,
Sure
because
it is.
part of us living a normal life is having water and electricity.
Yeah.
And,
Are you living a normal life?
yeah,
What's
if
that?
I've got water and electricity, I'm happy.
Yeah. I think we all should be. I was talking to somebody about that. What happens when the power grid goes out across the nation? We would be paralyzed, wouldn't we?
The average
Yeah.
person will.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're
all
living in
of
a
you-
high rise in New York City.
Well, you're screwed.
If you're living maybe in Tullahoma, where you
Country
can,
boy will survive.
country boy
you
will
know,
survive, hopefully. But
country boy's got
things I think about.
wood stacked up outside. He's got water in a well. He knows how to jug fish for catfish. He can kill a deer. He won't be waiting at Kroger's trying to kill somebody over the last gallon of milk,
or a loaf of bread,
a
right?
loaf of bread. You know,
Well, back in
Gotta be
98,
prepared.
remember, we had that happen. A lot of places in the city were out without power for 4 or 5 days, man.
And that's, you know, quite a long time.
Yeah, it was. It
Uh,
was.
I'm never tremendously prepared. I have read that instead of bread, you ought to get crackers because they don't ruin. Bread can go stale, you know,
Yeah.
certain things, and your power goes out and you can't put it in the freezer, and on and on and on. So peanut butter, always have peanut butter
Yeah.
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 to have a little protein.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. Of course, we were at the Legion then, and the Legion was a shelter that because a lot of people in the apartment complexes had no power, and we're right across from that substation down there, and so they did some temporary line over there, and so for about 3 days over Christmas,
Y'all
3 or
had-
4 days, you know, we were there taking care of the shelter. I mean, and we had some help from the Red
Yeah.
Cross and other folks, but.
Did you have a
Yeah.
lot of people come in?
Yeah. At one time, there was 50 or 60 people there. You know,
Too?
it was a big enough
Yeah.
deal that Nashville TV stations came down here
Oh, really?
to
Oh, yeah.
cover. Yeah. it
Fuller was a hero.
Well, Fuller's always been a hero
He
to
certainly
me.
has.
I didn't mean to be a hero because if you recall, that happened. I think 23rd maybe or something like that. We had just done our last Christmas party.
Yeah.
And everybody's exhausted, and I'm thinking, I can't wait to get home.
Oh, man,
You know,
you didn't get to go home.
I got home and was asleep, and my old buddy Wayne Limbo calls me up and said, "Fuller, I need you to help me."
So you pulled yourself together.
There we go.
There
Off you went.
Okay.
Dress back up. Well, one of the reasons that was helpful down there too is that the grid that goes to the hospital
Yeah.
is a very protected
Yeah.
thing, because that's the
has
one
to be,
that's the
yeah.
one place that needs to stay open.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that grid runs right there by the Legion, so that area right there will sometimes have power when other areas don't have
Yeah.
power, because that's the first thing to come back up is that
Well,
hospital.
I've got this weird little generator that I've never used, and it's supposed to like run your computer or your cell phone,
Yeah.
or for a little while anyway, and make coffee. It's just a small one. I should try it out, shouldn't I?
Yeah, it'd probably be good to know how to start it.
You know, I'll tell you how
If
stupid,
you have to plug it in for it to work, it's no good.
That's right.
Probably, yeah.
tell you how stupid I was though. And, we were without power at our house for 5 days. Of course, I wasn't there much. I was mostly doing that shelter.
This
but-
time?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
In the storm of '98, it was an ice storm. But how stupid I am! We had just had natural gas run to our house for a fireplace and stove and all that kind of stuff. Well, we had food, of course, there, but we had no stove. But we did have a fireplace, and I knew how to turn it on, so we had heat at the
Yeah.
home. But after all that was over, we had no way to cook for 5 days. And I realized that gas stove, cook stove, you could light that thing with a match. You didn't have to use that little electric starter on it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. And so 5 days goes
5
by.
days,
We've
yeah.
got
Do you know,
I mean, we'd have been
I
just
don't believe
fine.
I'd have told that one.
I can't believe that,
You know, I never turn the pallet light off of my gas stove because I don't want to deal with a match and gas. So
Yeah.
it stays on summer, winter,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Sure.
what it runs.
You know, but I think it's. I know Fran and I were talking about it. You know, when we were young, and a snow like that would come, and I mean, we didn't even have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. We'd get in my Mustang and go to Rutledge Falls and slide in ditches and out of ditches and
Yeah,
all
we
over,
did that.
and get out and walk Rutledge Falls down to the river.
Yeah.
That's before, or right at the beginning of Normandy Lake, and get out in that stuff and do all of that stuff, and we'd go to the mountain. And now I don't want any part of that.
No.
And had the equipment to do it, had
Well,
the clothes to do it, had
yeah.
the boots to do it, and chainsaws and all that kind of stuff. Proper gloves, sleeping bag where you could sleep below zero. And I don't know where all that stuff is now. It makes me feel so old sometimes to think that, I'm just another one of those old people that'll freeze to death.
Yeah.
I think we are lackadaisical about not being prepared.
Very much so.
In our military days, we could, if a bomb dropped, we had certain things already in our car, already ready to walk out the door with. But I'm not sure we do that. I don't do it anymore, and I should be better.
Well,
prepared.
and most people, we've had, I guess that was one of the real things that shook this nation on 9/11 is, we've become so lazy about everything's all right and nothing's going to be bad and nothing
Right.
bad's going to happen, that 95% of the people aren't prepared for anything other than their normal daily life.
Yeah, you should have a backpack under your bed, just ready to grab it and go,
You
with
know,
water, with
Yeah.
a few of the
We don't.
necessities.
No, we don't. No, it's kind of scary.
And you watch those movies where Armageddon, or where what tidal waves come in, or the moon's going to hit the earth, and all these people are running and cars, and they're running over each other. That'd be us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be the guy up in a tree with a bow and arrow waiting on all the rest of them to die off.
Yeah.
We'd be the ones dying off. At least I would be.
We might
Yeah.
be a little better prepared than some people.
Some people.
When you grow up in the country, you kind of learn to be prepared.
Yeah, jugfish. Jugfishing's
Yeah.
a good thing.
I think I forgot everything I ever knew about living in the country, though.
You hang on to a few things.
Fly
I think you
fishing.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love to fly fish.
My brother-in-law loved fly fishing, and he made flies and he made fishing rods, and I hope that if there is a hereafter that
He's
he's
fly
on the
fishing.
lake somewhere fly fishing.
Fishing. He's
That would
fishing.
be what I would wish for him.
I used to love talking about Rutledge Falls. I used to love to go down Rutledge Falls and walk down the
It's
the
so
river,
pretty, isn't it?
and there, there'd be holes down in there that would be maybe half as big as this studio right here, and there'd be little sun perch in there, and
Yeah.
fly fishing for sun perch. They wouldn't be half as big as your hand, but it's just fun to throw
They're
that
just right
fly,
there.
manipulate it from rock to rock, and catch something.
Yeah.
And throw it back in, catch it again.
Yeah,
Or its brother.
yeah,
It's just fun. It's just a great thing to do.
yeah.
Then
We don't get outside. We don't get outside enough anymore.
Yeah, we all walked the Appalachian Trail.
Your son and your grandson did that.
Well, they didn't
didn't
do the Appalachian, but yeah.
Well, they did something.
Yeah, they did something.
equivalent.
I think it's Piedmont.
Piedmont.
I believe that's what it's called.
That's an airplane, isn't it?
I don't know. It may be the
They
wrong
flew.
trail.
That's an airline.
They flew
Yeah.
somewhere together.
It's some kind of scout thing. They made it though.
What you
They
got,
survived.
Fuller? You look like you're nervous over there.
Oh no!
You got a piece of paper you
I
wanna get
sort of,
something off
I
of?
anticipated that we might be in a situation today we didn't, where we need some filler. I see John brought something as well. So-
Well, this is one thing I saw yesterday that I think we've been involved with, but the Tennessee Promise Scholarship deadline is February 15th, and so that's for all you high school people out there and parents of high school people who want to get that free 2 years of college.
Which is a wonderful
And
opportunity.
it's the 15th, and you need to get in touch with your guidance counselor at the high school, or you need to go out to Montlow and talk to some of those people out there, because it's February the 15th is the scholarship deadline. So you have to have your paperwork in by then.
then that's a pretty neat thing.
Oh, it's
The fact that you're
incredible.
going to
It
get
really
2
is.
years of college.
It's amazing,
for free.
I think.
And part of the requirement for that, isn't it, that you got to spend so many hours public service.
Public
But
service.
It's only 8, isn't it?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah.
But
it's
how
not
great
much.
is that? Everybody
Yeah,
ought to have to
yeah.
do that. That's,
Sure.
that's getting a free trip to something or a free ride.
Oh, absolutely,
I think that's wonderful.
absolutely.
People that take advantage of it are to be congratulated.
Okay.
We were talking about, we were talking about being prepared in time of need here, and Peggy was talking about old times here. So Jerry Harris sent me this yesterday afternoon. It's about what was the world, United States, like in 1915, and I thought some of these were kind of interesting. In 1915, that was 100 years ago, of
Yeah.
course. The average life expectancy for men was only 47 years
Wow.
old. Imagine that. And fuel for cars, you could only buy it in the drugstore.
Oh my goodness.
I absolutely didn't know that. Only 14% of homes had a bathtub. Only 8% of homes had a telephone. We can't live without a phone now.
Now only 8% of phones, homes probably have a wired
A
telephone.
wired telephone,
I don't.
exactly.
Do you?
Everybody's got their.
Wireless?
No, I don't have wired.
Yeah,
It's
the
wireless,
maximum speed limit in the cities was 10 miles an hour, which I guess was pretty fast if
Yeah.
you got horses is running around, and all of a sudden you got a few cars. But the average U.S. wage in 1910 was 22 cents an hour.
Oh my
We
goodness.
still make less than that, John.
Yeah, that's
But,
true.
We know how that is.
I know that. I know that.
The average-
Musicians know about that.
Yeah, that's right. The average U.S. worker made between $200 and $400 a year,
Wow.
and
But they all had a garden.
yeah, exactly.
They all had a garden. They all
Exactly.
went hunting.
I remember when I was a kid, I lived with my grandmother, and she was probably in her 70s, and she drew an old age pension, or I think that's what she called it. But,
Yeah.
but it was $40 a month, and
She survived on it.
we lived
Yeah.
good on $40 a month because of what you just said. We had a garden and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and she traded out meat. I mean,
Whatever
dairy
she had,
products,
yeah.
with other people who had meat and
Yeah.
milk and
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
And you
so-
knew your neighbor.
Yeah.
You knew your neighbor.
Yeah.
That, I
And,
think
and,
it's one of
and
the
if your
things
neighbor
we're
had
missing,
beans,
yeah.
you'd go down there and say, hey,
Oh,
I got a few too many tomatoes. You want some tomatoes? I
got
need some beans.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Now you don't even know. Now most people don't even know who lives next door to them,
Or what a bean is.
or what a bean is. I know one thing we need to know is it's time to go right now, and they're sending us down the road. Don't you go away. We'll be back. We don't know with what, but I guarantee you it'll be worth your time to watch and see.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is our segment we call Police Pointers, and we are always pleased to have Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell joining us today.
Good morning.
You know, Paul, we're a couple of things here before we get started on today's topic. You know, we're sort of in the early parts of this year, and you know, most people make a resolution to lose weight at this time of the year. However, you've already done all that. So does that mean you get a free ride this year?
No,
you know, do you have other
the
things?
first part of the battle was one with getting started and losing some, and I think the second part of it is continuing to maintain it.
Yeah.
Because obviously that gets difficult.
Yeah.
And you know, we just come off the holiday season, so kind of gained a couple pounds back, so I'll have to get re-energized again. And a couple other folks I've talked to that had got on a fitness program last year and some lost the weight. Same thing, you know. Gosh, I gained 5 pounds over the holidays.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, well, I got to get started again and get back on that regimen. And so it probably never ending.
Yeah.
You know that.
And there's something inherently unfair about that whole process, because you can diet for months and get where you want to. Then you can eat for a week and gain 5 pounds.
Yeah.
However, it takes you another month at least to lose that 5 pounds. So
there's that old kind of rule of thumb: you don't gain it overnight, so don't expect to lose it overnight.
Right.
But like you said, it's not fair, because sometimes it seems you do gain it overnight.
Yeah, I know.
Especially after a big weekend.
Yeah.
And those big weekends come more and more.
Right.
You know, we have Super Bowl coming up, so. You know,
you gotta eat on that day.
Just had a family member had a birthday, so you have to eat on the birthday, and of course we had the holidays, we had New Year's, and you know, there's always seems to be any kind of gathering is going to involve food.
Yeah, and somebody's always trying to lead you astray. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody thinks if they're eating, you should eat too.
Yeah.
Even if you really don't want to.
So it's an ongoing commitment. And keeping it up, you know, I look back, and my wife and I both kind of laugh at it, is we've both always been very active people.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I played sports all through high school, military, law enforcement, you know, but it seems like you hit a certain age where, you know, some things just don't work as fast as they did before.
Right.
And it becomes a little more of a struggle and difficult. And you know, by no means am I satisfied, because I think once you say I'm satisfied, then you're probably inviting a little failure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I thought you were probably just coasting, but I guess not.
No, so, I'm not coasting. Can't afford to coast.
Just had some bad weather over the weekend. How did that affect your department?
It affected us in a couple ways. Of course, we have to do some adjusting on our resources, our manpower. Uh-huh. So on Friday, when the snow started moving in, we kept a couple people to work overtime, a couple extra hours, and then we got the evening shift, the midnight people, to come in a couple hours early, just in case we needed it.
Right.
What we found from 2 o'clock Friday afternoon till 10 o'clock that night, we had 5 accidents that probably were weather related.
Right.
Generally, maybe we'd have 1 to 2 accidents. So a few accidents. From 10 o'clock till 6 in the morning, we had no accidents. So kind of applaud the people for being careful about getting out, or selective as to whether they went out or not.
Right.
And then Saturday morning, I called the headquarters about 8:30 to see how it was going, and at 8:30 in the morning that we'd had no accidents up to that point.
Right.
And I think later in the day we had 2 accidents. So 7 accidents over the course of 24, 36 hours.
That's not bad at all.
That was not bad. When we'd usually see maybe 3 accidents. So the good thing that helped us is the fact that schools got out at 12:30 on Friday. Because when that happens, and that was just when the snow was starting, so people were able to get their kids, get home, stay off the roads. If they had to go a full day and got out at 3:15, by then we'd have had a mess. So we're glad that the schools made that decision early to go ahead and close and get a lot of those folks off the road. Saturday morning, I tried to come up with some excuse to get out of the house, to get on the roads. My wife caught that. She said, "Look, you're just looking for a reason to go out, so go, just go."
Yeah.
But I convinced her to go with me.
Right.
And we went out and went to a couple stores, and you could tell people were not on the roads. The roads were clear of people. The stores were, if they were open.
Yeah, a lot of them were closed.
A lot of them were closed. And so people took some precautions, and it really, I think we Tullahoma did very well. We had to do a couple pullouts where someone slid off the road, but fortunately no damage to their vehicles. Just get a wrecker out there, get them out, get them on their way. So we did that pretty well. And as you said, I didn't hear any power outages either.
No.
And so that was good.
Yeah. Do you have issues with people who are confined to their home for a few days, perhaps, that are not used to that? Do you have issues like that? Do they increase during this time?
Yeah, we didn't really get any additional reports to go check on someone. Someone's worried about them. So we have a few of those shut-ins, but we also have a lot of resources where people stay in touch with those folks, and to know if they need something.
Right.
But a lot of people stayed indoors, and what's funny is some of the stores you would go to get the supplies to stay in the house were closed.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the movie rental places, things like that, they were closed.
Right.
So everybody did well. I think we weathered this pretty good.
So you mentioned you had to get out. You just had to get out on the road. Of course, that's a good thing, Paul. You are the police chief. You probably need to check that out. I'm surprised that Lenore didn't buy that. But,
I guess when it comes to snow, I'm still a kid at heart. The snow doesn't really bother me. I think, as y'all were saying, it's very pretty. I mean, and if you're dressed for it or prepared to go out in it, you can have a pretty good time. So I just had to get out.
Well, are police officers more prepared to drive in inclement conditions than perhaps the average guy?
I'd like to say we are. When we go through our initial training, we do have to go through some driving courses, and you get to learn some of the dynamics of how a vehicle operates in a slide or in a skid or something like that, to where if you get put in that situation, you don't totally use the word freak out.
Yeah.
That you know how to counter it or how to react. But that still doesn't mean we can't have accidents. Police officers still have accidents. But our cars are not equipped any differently than
I was going to ask
your car or
really?
my personal vehicle. So, having a police car out on the road, they've still got to drive just as anybody else does, cautiously.
Do you ever use chains? Or?
No. If we had to, we could get studded tires.
Yeah.
But the thing with studded tires is, you may be driving on snow or ice for a period of time, then you hit a clear pavement, and those studded tires will just kind of tear up the asphalt. So, we can't keep changing tires every 30 minutes by the weather. So, we just have to be a little more cautious and know where our resources are if we need to.
Because obviously your response time to
it increases dramatically. Yeah. We'd like to say we can be there in a matter of seconds, but it's an old, the old saying, if you can't get there yourself, you can't help anybody. So trying to go a little faster on that kind of weather, it's not recommended. In fact, we tell the officers a lot of times to go find a place central to your zone, your responsibility, and just kind of sit there.
Yeah.
And respond from there, because we just don't want them driving around on the road and happen to have an accident. The good thing is living in the city, it's much different than a rural setting. So if someone were to have an issue, say slid off in a ditch, someone's going to see them, or someone's going to call us, and we can respond.
Response time in the city of Tullahoma, to me, seems pretty phenomenal, actually, from a police standpoint or fire department standpoint.
Yes, we use say 3 minutes is what we call our non-emergency response.
Right.
And if we have to go with lights and sirens, we can get most places, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. But of course, if you're on the receiving end, that seems like a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, my wife and I were out Saturday, and we saw a couple fire engines going down the road, and they were driving very cautiously, as they should, because one of those big fire trucks, they start sliding.
Oh yeah.
All you can do is hold on.
Yeah.
And so they were going very slow, and my wife commented, "Boy, if you're on the receiving end, it probably seeming like forever to get there."
Yeah, sure.
But it's that same thing. If you don't get there, you can't help anybody at all.
Now, I forget what you told me you came here to talk about, but we still got time to do that. So let's talk about that.
We were going to talk about preparation.
Oh, okay.
And we've talked about it before. This storm has passed.
Yeah.
It's 50-something degrees out today and raining.
Yeah.
But it's still January, so there's a possibility we'll have another maybe bout of this. And we like to remind people that when it's nice like this, go ahead and prepare your vehicle for inclement weather, for bad weather. And just as we said, in the city, it's probably not as critical as if you lived in a rural setting or you were taking a trip on the interstate. But I kind of break it down to 3 things: the outside of your vehicle, the inside of the vehicle, and your vehicle operation. Let's go with outside first. You should check your vehicle windshield wipers. Do you have good windshield wipers? Are they torn? Are they rotted? Get some good wipers. Do all your headlights work? Do all your tail lights work? And do you have a full tank of gas? Not only do you have a full tank of gas for your engine's sake, but the added weight that all that fuel puts on in your vehicle
helps
with traction, things of that nature. And then we go inside your vehicle, make sure your heater works, your defroster works. Do you have your supplies, like y'all talked about earlier? Kind of call it your safety bag. Flashlight, batteries, a snack, some food, water, a blanket, cell phone charger, just in case you get stuck on the side of the road somewhere. And again, like I said, in the city, Tullahoma, that's not that critical. But if you were to say drive to Murfreesboro, very likely you could be on the side of the interstate for a long time, or even in the ditch.
Right.
And then we talk about the third thing, which is vehicle operation. As we talked about, in this kind of weather, speed has to decrease. You cannot drive, the speed limit may be 30, you can't drive 30 on ice and snow.
Right.
You're going to have to slow down. Stopping distances increase dramatically. Have to give yourself plenty of time to stop.
This comes into play, as you talked a couple of weeks ago about, you really need to be driving.
You need to be looking way down the road instead of where am I at right now.
Yeah.
Because where I'm at right now is soon to be, that's where I was.
Yeah.
So you've got to look down the road. If you were to go off the side of the road and you're stuck there, say in a ditch, one thing you want to make sure of is that if you have to keep your engine running, that you crack your windows a little bit and you make sure your exhaust pipe's not clogged up.
Right.
Carbon monoxide poison is that silent killer that you don't know you're being poisoned.
Right.
So keep your window cracked a little bit so you have that fresh air, and make sure that the tailpipe is not blocked in some fashion. Just being cautious. We went to one of the stores and bought some groceries, and enough that we needed a cart. And we laughed. We came out of the store, and there was, the ice, the snow, the slush. You couldn't get it. You couldn't pull your cart through it.
I went through
so
the
I'm pushing, she's pulling, and we're laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, the little things you don't think about.
Sure.
We kind of equated it to trying to push a shopping cart on the beach.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We were hoping no one was looking at us, but
right.
Everybody else is doing the same thing.
Right.
The weather, it gives us challenges, and I think we can, if we're prepared for it, as y'all were mentioning before, if we're prepared for it, we can endure it. And driving on the roads is very important. There's a couple spots in town that me even I would avoid. Lincoln Street, the hill.
Right.
But yet we get people trying to go up that hill and stopping at the red light.
Yeah.
And then when the light turns green, we get a phone call. They're stuck on the hill. They can't get any traction.
Yeah.
Yes. So you got to think about those things.
You kind of need to plan ahead.
You got to plan ahead what your route is,
right.
And because the vehicle, if it just slides off the road and hits a ditch, you may damage $500 worth of damage to your car.
Sure.
Now imagine if you're stuck on one of those hills and there's cars behind you, and you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, police get there, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to scratch their head and figure, how do we get you off this hill?
Yeah.
Short of calling a tow truck to come and hook you up and pull you up the hill.
Right.
And you're going to have to pay for that because they don't do that for
I would know.
just nothing.
Right.
So the weather, it has its obstacles. It's pretty. Everybody, talks about how pretty it is on the trees and on the ground and everything. But there's some residual effects to it. And the police, we don't get to go home.
Yeah.
When everybody else is closing down and going home early, and we're still there working.
Right.
And we're going to continue to work, and just as our fire department, our public works. But from a fire and police standpoint, we do this every day.
Yeah.
It's not just maybe one time a year when bad weather moves in.
Right.
Today there's going to be officers out on the road getting soaked.
Yeah.
Because that's their job. And fortunately, I think our community appreciates that and recognizes that what the men and women do. Not a lot of people want to do it.
Right.
And fortunately, we've got the people that are willing to do it and to step out and do a good job at it.
Yeah, because folks, if there's an accident out there, that police officer can't wait till it quits raining.
No,
he's got to go deal with it.
We had an incident the other day during the snowstorm where a utility pole fell.
Yeah.
And that took 3 or 4 officers to direct traffic.
Right.
And they're standing right out in the middle of it. Like you say, you can't sit in your car and wave someone through.
Right.
You've got to be out there in it, and that's an everyday occurrence for our police.
Yeah.
And so, support them, and don't get frustrated if they're standing out in the middle of the pouring rain trying to direct traffic, and you're having to sit there for a few minutes.
Exactly.
Change places with them.
Exactly.
Or better yet, get out with an umbrella and hold it over their head for them.
That's right.
But we rise to that occasion. And this past weekend, the incident, I think Tullahoma did a fantastic job. From the school system to the public works to the street department, the police, the fire, and even the store owners making the wise decision to close and send employees home.
All right, and it doesn't happen that often, so
No, it doesn't. So and we're lucky at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks
always
for
great
me.
information. I appreciate
Glad
it.
I could make it.
Yeah. Oh, you always make it.
I always make it.
You always make it. All right, folks, we'll be right back in a moment with more living right after this.
The Animal Shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar, so come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the COT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse.
You need a claim number?
Her personal assistant.
Let me just grab a...
Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
All right, folks, welcome back. I have a little young lady I want you to see here today on this show. This is a young girl, name is Emmy Sunshine. She's 11 years old. I've been following her since she was about 9, and an incredible young talent. She's been on the Today Show. She's a regular on the Grand Ole Opry now, and is just traveling around the country. Her family, they've all quit their jobs and got them a tour bus, and they're traveling the country with Emmy Sunshine. A delightful young lady, and the Great Group Productions is going to bring, working on a contract right now to bring Emmy Sunshine to South Jackson Civic Center June the 23rd. So I'm going to start throwing a little bit of her out there for all you moms and dads who have young people who want to be on stage. You need to watch this, pay attention to her, go online and look at her on her website, Emmy Sunshine, and it'll show you what can happen if you have just a little bit of faith and spend just a little time with your young person and put them up on stage and tell them they're good, because guess what? A lot of them really are. Emmy Sunshine.
get closer to a world with more birthdays. When we take cancer patients by the hand, we help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weekly, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Good morning there, camera ladies. Thank you, John, for that introduction. Never met old Bob Burns, but I bet he's a real good fella. I remember studying his poetry and English courses in high school. I did a lot of love stories and made you feel real good. Well, it's an old dreary day outside today, but it's nice and warm in here, and a lot of good things going on. And we mentioned recently about the back alleys in Tullahoma, and I thought I'd kind of elaborate on a subject that's been with us for a long, long time, and that's the garbage in Tullahoma. You may be hearing some garbage in the next few minutes, but I'd like to tell you about some history about our garbage part of our lives and homes and stores. Before there were landfills, before there was collection, most everybody that lived in a residence that had a back alley, they would burn what was burnable about their refuge or garbage, maybe newspapers or cardboard boxes or whatever, but they'd just burn them, and if they might have had maybe a barbecue pit, they'd burn them there, but most outside burning has been outlawed in recent years. Even the leaf burning, you've got to get a permit for it. But the first landfill that I remember back in the middle 30s, of all places, was right next to Rock Creek on West Lincoln Street, between what is now Life Communications and the creek, and the Atlanta Manufacturing Company was there on West Lincoln Street at Rock Creek. And the city would not only bring refuse and garbage there, but so would the citizens bring that would had to take or wanted to take their garbage or whatever, old ice boxes or refrigerators or old tires or whatever. They took them down to the landfill next to Rock Creek on West Lincoln Street and burned them. And for years and years, I don't ever remember, even in wet weather, that there wasn't smoke and burning of the garbage that had been brought there by the citizens of Tullahoma. That was the place to be. And nothing at that time was ever thought about pollution or EPA or that sort of thing. But then time went on, and garbage became bigger and more of it, and a lot of different things that would not burn. And the city acquired some land out on the Lynchburg Highway, which is an extension of Wilson Avenue, and built a landfill out there, and old refrigerators or stoves or tires or whatever were taken out there by truck or car or trailer or whatever, and they would have, the city would have a big bulldozer that would dig a big hole in the ground, and they'd fill it up and then cover it up with dirt again. And this went on for a number of years. I don't remember a lot of burning out there, but I know there was some, as I recall, burning of the waste that would burn. And at the present time, all that is leveled out there, and I don't know whether there's any problem with underground methane or whatever happens to all that old garbage after a number of years. There's not many wells out there in that area or springs, so maybe it's, and hopefully it's all safe out there. And one of the most beautiful entrances to Tullahoma is from Lynchburg, with the pretty homes on the edge of Tullahoma out on Wilson Avenue. And then it became filled, and they had to have another place to take the garbage, so it's been in the news quite a bit in the last few months. The landfill just south of the Central High School in Manchester on Highway 55 that was part of the Arnold Center's property out there, and it was used for many years as a landfill. And it was, again, it became filled, and had to find another place for it. And as I understand it now, BFI and the city of Manchester and Tullahoma take their garbage somewhere down in Moore or Bedford County to a landfill there. I have not seen it, but I think it's wonderful that the city fathers have seen fit to establish a recycling program where you can put your newspapers or plastic bottles or jugs or other things by your garbage can, and your area where it's picked up, why the recycling truck comes by and puts different types of waste in the compartments that can be recycled. I think it's wonderful. All this, of course, is a non-hazardous type of waste. The hazardous type, like batteries and cleaning fluid and paint and things of that nature, a couple of times a year they make provision for them to be disposed of at the Manchester Recycling Center. And most recently, the schools, all the schools in Tullahoma, have newspaper recycling bins that will benefit the school programs. And I think that is really a great program. So let me encourage all of you folks that have newspapers and read them, and not to burn them, not to put them in your garbage, but as you go to work or go to the post office or wherever you go, put them in a sack and take them by one of the schools and put them in a recycling bin. It's a wonderful way to keep up with the times and keep your back porch clean, and yet do some real good for the community. Also, down at the city shops, they have bins down there, and they are very well marked for cardboard and for newspapers and for plastic bottles, and even have a bin for textiles and cloth and things of that nature that can be recycled. And I went down there one day with some old plastic bottles, and I saw some things flying out of one of those big bins down there. I thought, what in the wide world? And somebody had gotten over in the bin and was passing some things they thought they could sell or recycle to one of their buddies that had a pickup truck down there. And it's wonderful that provision is made for the citizens of Tullahoma so that they can have a place to take their waste. It's a whole lot cleaner community now. And you know, when visitors come into Tullahoma, if they see clean front yards and clean buildings and clean streets, they know that they're in a pretty good community. We thank you for watching and hope you get rid of all your waste real good. And until then, this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. Thank you for watching and have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. Uh-oh, I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paintworks at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm proud to have our friends at Life Care come by to see us from time to time. And today we have Miss Glenda Stevens with us, and she is the activities coordinator for Life Care of Tullahoma here. And you know, we've been involved with Life Care for a long time for a lot of reasons. Had family members over there, friends, and it's just it's a wonderful facility here in Tullahoma. And one of the things that's so much fun is all the stuff that this lady and the folks over there put on to keep our loved ones entertained and happy. And what I noticed you've got almost, or do you have hearts on your ears? Are you getting ready for Valentine's?
Yes, we're getting ready for our Valentine King and Queen. We're actually we've got nominations for that, and we'll be voting for that, and we do that a penny a vote, and family, community, volunteers, anyone can, you know, vote for that. And then on the 12th, on Friday, we will crown them, and I'm hoping that I can get Lane Curley to do that for me.
Oh, he'll do that. I bet he will.
But we use it as a fundraiser. The proceeds goes for a fundraiser for Relay for Life, which Life Care Center of Tullahoma has a team each year, and we've had a team for many years, and that's probably one of our biggest fundraisers that we do.
Well, you know, and last year we were over there. We always go over there and film a lot of things that happen at Life Care, because they've been partners with us for years in a lot of different things. And last year Cricket Mullins was the king. Yeah. And sadly to say, Cricket passed away recently, and yes, he did. And I went to his service last week. But it's always fun, and it was so exciting and to see all the people and the things that they do, and how your staff is so involved with the day-to-day life of these patients, and not just in the care of their physical bodies, but the care of their minds and the joyfulness that they bring into the situation over there.
That is correct. I mean, a lot of people think as nursing homes as a end of life thing, you know, end of the road kind of thing. But what we do, what our job is to do, is give them purpose, something, you know, to look forward to do in their life. Some have said that they were more social with us than they've been in their whole life.
Right.
You know, that they enjoy.
Well, and a lot of times I know that at the prom, you had a prom. That's what cricket was, prom king, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was prom king, not Valentine. But you know, a lot of these ladies and gentlemen, you'll see some of the gentlemen will have on their military dress uniforms. And the ladies will have their dresses and corsages, and you know, it gives a person in a facility like that an opportunity to share the joys that the rest of us have in a more ambulatory life, or in a life where we're still out driving around and going and doing. Your staff and your facility brings those activities in-house to them, to where they can have those same feelings of a prom dance. And it tickles me. I know that last year there was several daughters and mothers dancing because the father has passed, and just dancing is for everyone. I mean, life should be a dance, and dance all you can, because it's a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
What else do you have? What's on the horizon for your activities at Life Care?
Well, you know, we usually have quite a bit of music programs, church services, different things, bingo being very popular with our ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have different special events, you know, that we do during the year, during the holiday. And by the way, I'd like to thank the ones that helped us at Christmas to make sure that our residents had a wonderful Christmas. I mean, it was fabulous. And but we have lots going on all the time. We go out on van trips. We go to South Jackson Civic Center when we can, and we go to the movie. We go shopping. I mean, we try to keep the activities to where it kind of takes off from where their life was at some point, and to make it as normal as possible.
And at the same time, you're giving the best of skilled nursing care.
Oh yes, oh yes. We have an awesome therapy team that really work hard and get them ready to go home. And sometimes we're very sad to see them go home, and sometimes they're sad to see us to go home, you know. But
well, and that's something I think is very important that a lot of folks might not realize is, you know, sometimes when you have you're not necessarily at the end of life or closing in on that, but you just might fall and break a hip, or you might have a surgery, a knee or something, and it might be a situation where you live alone. You might not be able to go home. Or even if you can go home, the person who lives there might not be able to care for you properly. You know, you go to Life Care not to stay there until you die, but to stay there until you're well.
That is true.
And get that hip back in shape and the knee back in shape, because they have a wonderful therapy staff over there.
They do.
And I know Fran's mother, Dot, after her father had passed away, Dot was just so weary and weak that she ended up going into Life Care to be cared for and gotten stronger and healthier and fed right, and you know, to where, and now of course she went back home and living and driving and doing whatever she needs to do. But it's not always an end of life situation. It's a correction of a problem situation.
Yes,
so, and y'all are about the best.
Well, thank you. I think so.
You do, I know you do. And I found out a couple of days ago that Glenda is cousins with our beloved Melissa Shuran. So I can tell by that smile and that gleam in her eye. So, well, we thank you for coming and being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for the good work you do at Life Care.
Thank you.
And know that all you have to do is keep coming back and let us know what you need, and we'll do our best to help.
Now, I would like to, this is National Activity Professional Week. I would like to thank my staff and all the activity directors and such as that for all that they do to make our residents happy.
Yeah. There you go. So all you volunteers out there, paid or unpaid, who are part of activities in your church, your office, your business, whatever you're involved in, thank you for all the hard work you do to keep folks happy and joyful.
Thank
like
you.
Glenda.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mate. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and because it snowed and got cold,
we had to cancel jazz. That's, you know, I don't.
the
show usually goes on.
Jazz.
You know, I spend my life saying the show will go on, the show will go on, but it was just became outrageous and too dangerous.
You know what it takes for the show to go on? It takes entertainers, and when the entertainers are behind 10 inches of snow in Nashville, it's hard to get here.
Yeah. Anyway, they're coming back Friday night. Coming Friday night. Wonderful group, same lineup basically. You know, we have the champagne reception at 7 o'clock Friday, and then the main show at 8 o'clock.
Right. Kelly Cox Collaborative is what we're talking about.
They're a group of 7, and their credits are huge. They're a wonderful group, and I'd just like to say a few things about musicians.
Tell it.
Well, a lot of times the vocalist gets all the credit, or the people in the Broadway play that sing. Very few people take the time to think about all those musicians sitting over there in the orchestra, or in the jazz pit or wherever. And those people put in a lot of time and have a lot of musical talent. And I think they need to be given credit and have a showcase.
Yeah, and I think that it takes as much study to be an accomplished musician and hard work as it does to be an accomplished vocalist.
More.
And probably
I mean,
more, yeah.
In college, we always laughed about how the vocalists, you know, they couldn't read the music, but that's not true at all.
Right.
Most good vocalists can read the music, but a lot of times they don't. They do what they hear. They hear it and they sing it. But anyway, Kelly Cox also sings, by the way. She doesn't just play piano, and gives us a chance to use our 7-foot Baldwin piano that we bought at South Jackson.
And it's a good one.
Exactly. And Alan Keckrich comes in there and tunes it every time,
right.
which I truly appreciate. And anyway, it's going to be a great show, and we hope you'll come out.
Yeah, so we have a little clip here of the Kelly Cox Collaborative. The bumper, I'm right here. Yes, sirree. And, you know, I was listening to the radio on the way in this morning. I used to listen to Jerry House and the House Foundation, and now there's a, whoa. Well, there I am there. Where am I? There. There's a guy on now called Bobby Bones. And on Tuesdays, Bobby Bones has a little thing he plays, Tell Me Something Good. And he reads good news and, you know, what's happening good. And one of the things was there was a bunch of people, a Jeep club in one of the towns that went around. There was about 45 of them during the snow and gave over 300 people rides to work, which is pretty cool. Something good going on. So here's a little poem I wrote about something good going on a while back. Everything seems upside down. Have they all gone mad? This might be the worst week this world has ever had. There's fighting everywhere. Can't we just get along? As for me, I'm headed home. Something good going on. Something good going on when I hit the door. The smell of supper cooking, kids in the floor. That boss weighing my pound of flesh, he don't even know I'm gone. He's got his share. I'm going where something good's going on. Like Odie Lee sitting with a baby in his lap. Uncle Bunch fly catching on the porch while he naps. A double lemon wedge and Teresa's cold sweet tea. The glow of dawn in your hair right there next to me. Something good going on. Let the talking heads go to bed with everything that's wrong. I'll spend my time trying to find something good going on. Something good going on just waiting there for you at your mama's kitchen table in a Sunday morning pew. A melody under a live oak tree. The magic's not all gone. The race ain't done. Here comes the sun. Something good going on. The Cajuns say bon temps roulé, and a Cajun's never wrong. Find your soul. Let the good times roll. Something good going on. So we all need to hump for something good going on out there. Now, as I try to educate myself and find new things to do, I have met a group called I've known them for quite some time, the Not Yet Dead Poets Society. And that's a group that meets at the Celtic Cup on Thursday nights, and I go over there and we share things. And the other night there was a lady there who is proficient in a form of poetry called haiku. And I didn't know what that was. It's a Japanese form of poetry that has only 3 lines. It's untitled, and they are 5 syllables, 3 syllables, 5 syllables, and then 3 syllables, or 5, 7, and 5. And they don't necessarily have to rhyme, and they don't have a title. Well, that, you know, and they're obscure things. And so that's haiku. Well, that was nice, but I thought I'd develop a type called loku. So, because the way I want to do it is not quite that way as professional. My sister-in-law gave me this wonderful Tolkien journal for Christmas last year. I've turned this into my loku book. The definition of loku: a rear-titled short collection of unrelated nonsense that when joined together creates an image, hopefully one that sparks the joy of imagination. Now that's the definition of loku. Here's my first attempt at loku. Down a thread seldom ventured, a red-lipped hummingbird pulls up the socks inside her blue suede shoes. The color? Purple. Whoopee. Did you get that? Did you get that? Red lips, blue suede shoes, red and blue make purple. The color? Purple. Whoopi was the star of the movie The Color Purple. And just one more. Well, I'll give you another one here. Here's the elevator man. The elevator man in a train whistle wind, wearing high-heeled Chuck Taylors and his hat's in a spin. His head in the clouds or 3-track in the sand, you never know with the elevator man. because his ups and downs are no big trick. He travels around on a pogo stick. The elevator man. Let's see here, I'll give you one more. The molar surrendered a sour note to a string of unwaxed dental floss. Gee, the pork and kraut pairing, delicious. Pinot Noir. Low-Q. And for you people that don't like this to happen to you, a black cat walks across the street of gold. 9 lives lost. Now he needs to know, am I still bad luck in this new land? St. Peter answers from behind the gates. Go ask the walk under the ladder man. Superstition. So that's your first dab into Low-Q. We'll be back after this message. Don't shoot me.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
Slow down! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Okay, we're back, and thank you for allowing us to have fun with you as we come to you on television. Again, we've been doing this a long time, and it sure is a lot of fun for us, and we hope we bring a little joy to your life in what we do. And I've got wonderful, wonderful Peggy. What you call it? She looks, sometimes she looks like a rooster to me, but with that hair, I love that. I love that hair up there like that. Great entertainer,
It's
great
nice to have
singer.
hair, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't forget Friday night,
mine's
Jazz
going
on
away.
Jackson. Friday night at South Jackson Civic Center, 7 o'clock is champagne reception, and we have other things.
Yeah, and go check the website and check the sign, and always look at the sign going by and find out what's there, because there's stuff happening there all the time, and
There's a lot going on.
It's hard to get it all publicized and get it out there in front
Wes
of you.
Campbell, for instance, gave up Friday night so I could have, redo the schedule, and they're fixing to do
Trailer Trash.
What is it?
Trailer Park Trash or something
like that.
It's
but
a play
it
about
sounds
Trailer
like
Park.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be fun.
It's fun.
Anyway,
It'll be a funny
that's coming
play.
on soon too.
And Wes is always good in what he does, and he's directing this, and it'll be a fun time. So be safe out there. go see a ball game. It's homecoming this Friday night as well. If you don't go to South Jackson, it's a basketball homecoming Friday. Always stuff going on around here.
There's a lot going on in this region.
Find something to do. If you're sitting at home by yourself, bored, it's your fault. There's all kinds of things going on. There's something good going on around here, I guarantee you. So with that said, see you next time, folks.